This video is going to go over some warding spots around the map. You can use wards for a multitude of reasons. Mainly, they're going to give you information. So, you know, what the team's doing, what they're not doing, and then you can use that to farm or set up ganks or whatnot. But I'm just going to go ahead and point out some of the warding spots, and then we can just go from there. So this is a really popular one.
Yes.
This one gives you vision of basically the whole Radiant, you know, tier 2 base. If you get this ward up, you basically have control of their jungle. You know, you can see if they're going to move out, you can see if they're going to move this way, you can see if they're going down to the bottom lane. Really good ward, but it's also really popular. So a lot of people place their ward up there, and they also de-ward it.
Here.
Let's see. Here is another really popular ward. Gives you better vision of the Radiant jungle. And it also blocks this camp and this camp as well. Again, it's popular. People usually place the sentry like somewhere right here, and then they try to look for a ward. Kill off these wards. There's a ward right here that you can place. This one's okay. Gives you vision of this little passageway right here. A lot of people they come down here and set up ganks to the bottom lane if you're a dire. This one also blocks this camp, so a little bit less popular. Usually when people try to de-ward, they'll place a sentry here or somewhere back here, and so this will serve as you know, information gathering, and it'll help you block this camp. A lot of people in the dire, they also place a ward here. It gives you vision of everything basically before the tower. Really useful if you're trying to push. You can see the TPs coming in. You can see what heroes are kind of waiting in the back. And then you can act accordingly. Let's see. There's a ward right here you can place. This gives vision of the Rune and this passageway into the river. It's basically a substitute for the popular Rune spots here. All these basically serve the same purpose. They give you vision of the Rune. They give you vision of, you know, popular gank spots. So a lot of people just come through river and try to gank the lane. This one probably won't be de-warded as well as these two. This one is less popular than these two, but it still gets de-warded. Usually people place a sentry like right here. That might catch this depending on where they place it. And it'll definitely catch these two, but not this one. You can also place a ward up here. This one's also popular too. A lot of people de-ward this. There's a warding spot right here. You can place it here, or you can place it a little bit down. It doesn't really matter. Down gives you a little bit more vision here, but somewhere in this general area gives you vision of, you know, this little ramp that people use to set up ganks to the middle lane. I've seen people place a ward here. This one has limited vision, but it still gives you vision of, you know, people trying to set up ganks in the middle lane. Good if you're dire. Kill off these wards. Middle lane. This is really good. This is really good. Same on the other side. You can put one here. You can put one here or here. You can put one here. This one up here is popular. That one gets de-warded a lot. You can place one here. All of these middle lane wards basically are to help whoever's middle. They know where people are coming in, where they're going out, what runes are spawning, where the runes are. This basically gives information for the middle person to let, you know, their safe lane or off lane know that, hey, you know, there's a gank coming or not. These two, pretty good. This one gets de-warded a lot. And so usually if they place a sentry here or down here, they'll de-ward these two. Usually if you're Radiant, you would, you know, place it on the dire side. You don't really need information about your own ancients unless you lost to tier 1 and they're pushing really hard. Let me go back down here. I kind of skipped around a little bit. There's a good one down here. So a lot of people place a ward here, right? The dire, right? If you're dire, you place it here to check the rune and see if any ganks are coming. This one gets de-warded very easily. people will put it there and kill that ward. Another good way to stop that is to place a ward right here. Give the vision. It gives you the same vision, but it doesn't let you see the rune, which is okay. I mean, if they're gonna deward this, you're not even gonna have a ward anyway, so it's better to put it down here. They usually won't deward this because, you know, dewarding the camp is over here, and usually nothing happens over here. If you're Radiant and you're trying to protect your carry during the nighttime, place a ward right here. This will basically give you vision of anyone coming in for TP support on the dire side, coming to try to gank. Gives you vision of this ramp, gives you a little bit of vision over here too. Really good for to protect the Radiant carry. There's a really good spot here if you have a Quelling Blade or something to cut down a tree. You can cut this down and place the ward right there. This one does the same thing as the one right next to the tree, except it also blocks this camp. So a lot of supports will cut a tree here and pull this camp into this camp, so they get double XP and really get their supports farmed up. But if you have a Quelling Blade or something, cut down this tree and put this ward right there. It'll block this camp and give you the same vision. Again, people will probably deward this, but if you can pull it off, it's good. Another good ward is here. So this one's good for the Radiant, right? So you can see TP spawn on the tier 2 and tier 1. People usually don't deward this. Kind of an awkward spot to put a ward, but it gives you a lot of information, especially if you're pushing the bottom lane. You can place a ward here as well, or here. They give vision, same thing. Let me see. This ward is pretty good actually. This one gives you vision of, you know, if they're coming down through the river, and it gives you vision of this ramp too. Combined with one of these wards, you basically have vision of the bottom lane. So again, protecting whoever's bottom is good. This one gives you same type of vision, but it gives you more vision into their base. Over here, you can do the same thing. So of course you should almost never place a ward here. This one doesn't really give you anything but the rune vision. You would almost always want to place it over here, even though it gets dewarded more often, because this rune gives you access to the ramp, so you know who's coming down, who's coming across the jungle. This one really doesn't give you anything. I mean, it gives you some vision of this, but who's gonna? No one really goes through here. I mean, if they go through here, they're gonna have to come up here anyways. So this one's good. You can, if you don't want yours to get with deward, I guess you can put it here. This one gives you vision of the rune as well. This one's good too. Same thing, except it doesn't. This one does not see the rune. It barely misses it. If your hero stands here though, like right here, he can see the rune, or they can see the rune during daytime, depending on the hero. This rune's good. Kill this. This rune's good right here. Gives you vision of who's coming up the ramp. It doesn't give you the vision of the rune, but it does give you everything else. This one might get dewarded because it blocks this camp, and so people will place a sentry here or here to try to deward this. So I mean, use it sparingly. If you're Radiant and you're scared of dire ganks, place a ward here or here. You don't want to place it too far down. I mean, I guess you could. Don't place it in the middle of the trees, because then you lose this horizontal vision. Either place it a little bit above or place it a little bit below. If you go right around here, it'll block this camp. So let me show you the vision of that. So this one, it's pretty good, right? So you can see if someone TPs, they can walk around and try to gank you in this area right here. You know, people walking through the jungle, you can see who's farming without letting them know that you block it. And that's another thing about wards. So you don't want your wards to be obvious, right? So if you place a ward, for instance, right here, right, and some dude's jungling and he comes and says, "Hey, I don't have a jungle." That means he knows that you warded this. he either knows that you have vision somewhere, so if he's a smart player, he's not going to walk across here again. But if you place a ward like this back here, you can basically just keep an eye on him. If he's low, he'll think he's safe, and then you can go set up a gank. So sometimes warding is just gathering information rather than blocking something. Again, you can put it up here. This one gives you more aggressive vision of the dire tier 1. I've seen some people put the ward here if you're farming close to the tower and you're afraid of ganks. If you're on the dire, this one's a really good one. It's basically the same one as this, right? It protects your carry. You can see who's coming in the TP on the tier 1 tower. I think it goes up to here depending on where you place it, just outside of the tower range. This one is really good. If you place it a little bit higher, right here, you block this camp, and you get nice vision of the river. And this one probably will not be dewarded. Oh, that's a crappy one. Yeah, place it a little bit further down.
Swiftly.
Nope. So that gives you vision of all of this. It's kind of only one path, right? So if someone's just kind of blatantly walking through the river, you can see them. It doesn't see anything else. But if they're dewarding a lot and you absolutely need vision, you can definitely use that. This one probably won't get dewarded as much. This one's good up here. Again, same concept. You can watch them farming the easy camp, especially if someone's struggling. You want to kind of pincer them in and keep them from farming the jungle. This one's good. You definitely don't want to block it because they'll know that they have vision. Of course, you have the deep high cliff ward. Really popular. People deward it. Place wards here all the time. This one's okay here. Gives you the same thing. Gives you kind of a good vision, but it won't be dewarded. This is a good way to get vision as well. If you're bold enough, you can place a ward back here. This one's really only for aggressive pushing, and you know that they're going to defend. You want to see what their supports are doing. Gotta get more wards. Whoops. Oh, that was dumb. Server. Got a few more ward points. So the tower is here. Proper ward spot is right here, and this one will give you vision in between the two towers. Same thing as this one. This one's good for pushing and seeing the TP supports. You can also place one here. Same thing. You can see the in between the two towers. As you get deeper into here, you can place a ward here if you're radiant to push into their tier 2. The trees kind of block it. I actually like this ward better back here.
Yes. Your top tower is under attack. I'm under attack.
This one doesn't get seen by towers. Oh, it does. Just
forward.
Kidding. Okay. Okay, whatever. So, yeah, I think you have to go about this crevice. So, this ward's really good. Tier 2. You want to see where they're coming up and down the ramp.
Your middle tower is under attack.
And then if you're actually pushing into their base, there's a couple wards that you definitely want to put up. They're kind of obvious. You kind of have to put them quick. If you stand right here, you can place a ward up here. This one basically gives you vision of the inside of their base. So if you're pushing the top, you definitely want to place a ward here. You can see where their supports are positioned. You can't see the very top, but at least you know it gives you information. Like if there's a pudge or something up here trying to hook people down, you want to definitely see that. And then on the bottom side, you want to look for this little building right here, and you can place it right after it. The only thing about this is, so if you're here trying to place a ward, it's obvious. They can see you standing here. If they click on you, they know that the ward's there, so they'll deward this. But it is good in the middle of a fight, or when you're getting up to fight, just place it up here. They either have to waste their money to deward it, or they'll just ignore it. Radiant, same thing.
As I will.
This little shrine thing right here next to this purple bush. Right here, this one gives you the same vision as this one. And then up top, same thing, this little moon well right here. I don't know what that is actually. Right there.
Your queen
That's good.
Moves.
That gives you vision in the base. In here, this one's popular. Gives you vision of this little ramp up here. Back here, this is really popular. If you're setting up ganks for the tier 1 and your teammates are pushing in from the dire and you want to come back around here, you definitely don't want to just stand here and watch the people go by. You would just stand here and wait, maybe eat some trees and walk through. This one's okay. Gives you vision of a ramp, but not many people walk through here anyways. So you would almost want this ward here. Let's see what else.
Yes.
I think that might be it.
Swiftly.
You can also place a ward here.
The enemy's top tower has fallen.
If you've killed the tier 2,
oh,
this one gives you vision, pretty good vision of this whole area. It doesn't give you vision up here, but it won't get dewarded because, like I said before, a lot of people place the sentries up here and try to look for the wards. Yeah, I mean that's basically it. You guys can ward in different situations, but the thing is, you don't want to be obvious when you ward. I always try to buy wards in public games. I know a lot of people don't like to play the support position, but it's 150 gold. If it saves you from 1 death, or your teammates from 1 death, or even gets you 1 death because you know that, you know, some random Joe Schmo is walking through here, you guys can all just gank him. If you even get that one, the gold and the experience that they lost is already worth it. It already gets paid for, and more often than not, you're going to be able to, you know, ping your teammates and say, hey, you know, there's a Pudge coming up here with a rune. He has a DD rune, or he has an invisible rune. That will save your teammates. So every time they come off cooldown, you should definitely buy a ward. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, leave some comments below. Thank you.